Hello everyone. Last time we have explained about structure of nucleolus and the functions of the nucleolus. Today we are going to explain nucleocytoplasmic interactions. Means the nucleus and cytoplasm which work hand in hand to perform various activities, various life processes of the cells, and this is because of the interdependence of the different substances which are essential to carry out various biological functions in the cell are either provided by nucleus and the cytoplasm of the cells. So most of the nucleic acids like DNA and RNA of a cell are formed in the nucleus, and those found in the cytoplasm are thought to have migrated there. So source of these DNA or RNA in the cytoplasm is a nucleus, as the process of DNA synthesis taking place in the nucleoplasm together with different type of RNAs, that is rRNA or mRNA, are also synthesized in the nucleoplasm. rRNA is synthesized by nucleolus. mRNA is transcribed by DNA of the chromosomes or the chromatin material. From where these mRNA or rRNA are then transported through the nuclear pore complexes into the cytoplasm so as to perform the function of protein synthesis with the help of rough endoplasmic reticulum. So most of the nucleic acids like DNA and RNA of the cell are formed in the nucleus, and those found in the cytoplasm are thought to have migrated in the cytoplasm from the nucleus. With the exceptions of the DNA of some cytoplasmic organelles like mitochondria or chloroplast, they are possessing their own DNA, and thus performing the different functions by themselves with the help of genes or the DNA present in them. Messenger RNA is formed in the nucleus in association with the chromosomes. Ribosomal RNA is also formed in the nucleolus. Since some protein synthesis occur in the nucleus, mRNA and ribosomes first become associated with the nucleus to form functional polyribosomes. Most polyribosomes found in the cytoplasm migrate through the nuclear pore complex of the nuclear membrane. Other ribosomes may then become attached and may be extensively reused in the cytoplasm. So, mRNA with ribosomes, then rRNA, all of these components are synthesized in the nucleoplasm or the nucleus, and then are transferred into the cytoplasm through the uh, pores in the nuclear membrane. And the ribosomes may are accompanied with the mRNA or to form a polyribosomes, or may occur in a free condition, or may occurring on the surface of the rough endoplasmic reticulum in the cytoplasm. Some polyribosomes remain free in the cell sap but become bound to the membranes of the ER, and thus surface of the rough endoplasmic reticulum becomes rough due to presence of studded structures of the ribosomes which are attached with the external surface of the endoplasmic reticulum to form rough endoplasmic reticulum. Cytoplasmic nucleic acids are synthesized in the nucleus. These may be rRNA, mRNA, tRNA, which are synthesized in the nucleus. RNA might act as a template for the synthesis of other RNA molecules in the cytoplasm. So, single-stranded RNA can also be used as a template for the synthesis of RNA molecules in the cytoplasm with the help of RNA polymerases or enzymes. The cytoplasm might have DNA containing structures like mitochondria. The cellular activities are controlled in the nucleus. Cellular activities are controlled by the nucleus and more specifically by the DNA located in the chromosomes. So we are well known to the genetic material DNA, which is the important component of the chromosomes containing genes and which are thus performing cellular activities of the cell under the control of the nucleus or ultimately the chromosomes present in the nucleus. The RNA involved in a protein synthesis, the RNA involved in protein synthesis originates in the nucleus and is then transferred to the cytoplasm. It is generally accepted that some macromolecules, some organic molecules, water and ions can pass through the nuclear envelope. These macromolecules can cross the nuclear envelope through the nuclear pores by the active transport or by blebbing and exchange through the endoplasmic reticulum. Many studies suggest that granular material of the nucleolar origin pass from the nucleus to the cytoplasm and may be involved in the biogenesis of the ribosomes. So these are the different type of nucleocytoplasmic interactions taking place in the nucleus and the cytoplasm so as to perform different biological functions or the life processes or the metabolic reactions in the cell. Then next component of the nucleus, that is the chromatin. Chromatin is in the form of two types, that is euchromatin and heterochromatin. Euchromatin and heterochromatin. The chromosomes are composed of a substance known as chromatin material, that is DNA and the nucleoproteins. So DNA and the nucleoproteins accompany together to form a chromatin of the chromosomes, which occur in two forms, that is euchromatin or a true DNA, a true chromatin material consisting of large quantity of DNA and less RNA containing large quantity of DNA in the euchromatin and which is active DNA. And in a heterochromatin, there is a less amount of DNA. There is a less amount of DNA and which is arranged in a compact manner and thus not get easily involved in the process of transcription translation. So the active DNA or the true DNA which is present in the euchromatin part of the chromatin of the chromosomes. Hitz in 1928 described heterochromatin as those regions of the chromosome that remain condensed or compact during the interphase and early prophase. So heterochromatin region are thus a compact or the condensed regions of the chromosome during the interphase and early prophase. The rest of the chromosome that remain condensed during the rest of the chromosome remain in a non-condensed state or a loose form. Hitz in 1928 described heterochromatin as those regions of the chromosome which remain condensed or compact during the interphase and early phase, and the rest of the chromosome remains in a non-condensed state or loose state and is called as euchromatin. So heterochromatin remains present in a close contact with the nucleolus. Heterochromatin remains present in the close contact with the nucleolus and is responsible for nucleolar organizer. Nucleolar organizer is formed in the region of heterochromatin in the chromosomes and which usually occurs in the region of the nucleolus in the nucleus. During mitosis, heterochromatic regions appear localized at the centromere, and such regions may stain more strongly or weakly than the euchromatic region. So, the heterochromatic regions become localized and may be strongly or weakly stained in the euchromatic region. Such regions may be stained more strongly or weakly than the euchromatic region. So, during mitosis, euchromatic regions appear localized at the centromeres or in the region of centromere, and such regions may stain more strongly or weakly than the euchromatic region. Electron microscopic studies revealed that heterochromatin and euchromatin differ in their physical structure. Heterochromatin is composed of 250-degree angstrom unit fibrils. Heterochromatin is composed of 250-degree angstrom unit fibrils of the chromatin, whereas euchromatin contains 30 to 80% 30 to 80 angstrom unit fibers. Means the heterochromatin occurs in a compact or a thick form, that is, as it is having several chromatin fibers may occur together to form a thick fiber of 250-degree angstrom unit, whereas the euchromatin contains 30 to 80-degree angstrom unit fibers, means these are thin, and the fibers of which are thus easily get involved in the process of transcription and translation, or in the region of euchromatin, the gene expression taking place. So, the heterochromatin represents a condensed or compact intercoiled state of chromatin containing 2 or 3 times more DNA than euchromatin. It contains large quantity of DNA, 2 to 3 times more than that of euchromatin, but is inactive type or arranged compact in a dense manner or compact manner or condensed, and thus not get involved in the process of transcription translation, or ultimately preventing the gene expression in the region of heterochromatin. However, it is genetically inert because it is not transcribed to mRNA, that is transcription, and translation, that is proteins. So, the heterochromatin region is genetically inert or inactive because it is not transcribed into the mRNA, that is a transcription, and not transformed or not producing or synthesizing the proteins, that is a translation. While euchromatin is loose form of less DNA. And it is genetically active and easily get involved in the process of transcription and translation, that is mRNA and protein synthesis. So, chromatins, that is euchromatin and heterochromatin, are the important component of the chromosomes and are mainly composed of DNA and certain nucleoproteins to form a chromatin materials or the chromatids of the chromosome. And we are well known to the structure of chromosome, the two chromatids of the chromosome which are held together by means of centromere. Then there may be a primary constriction, or it is also called as primary constriction first. Centromere is also called as primary constriction first. Then there are secondary constriction first and second also. The secondary constriction first is again another secondary constriction first is a nucleolar zone or the nucleolar region of the chromosome where nucleolus is formed, or where the chromosome or the chromatin material is accompanied or associated with the nucleolus, and the secondary constriction second is the another centromere may occur along the length of the chromatids so as to maintain the shape of, or so as to keep the two longer strands of the chromatids of the chromosome together by means of the another centromere called as secondary constriction second. So this is what about the structure of euchromatin and heterochromatin. Then we are also well known to the structure of chromosome, that is composed of the two chromonymal fibrils or the chromonemata, which may have two, four, or more number of chromonymal fibrils, and which forms a necklace-like structure representing the region of the chromomeres and interchromomeres in the chromatids of the chromosome. That is nothing but a actual DNA or the genes present in the form of chromonymal fibrils in the chromatids of the chromosome. Then there may be a covering of the pellicle present on the entire external surface of the chromosomes, and under the electron microscopic studies, it is revealed that the pellicle is absent on the surface of the chromosome, or it is also revealed that the chromosomal matrix is also absent in the chromonymal fibrils or the chromonemata or the chromatids of the chromosome. So, presence of matrix and the pellicle is rejected by electron microscopic studies, and thus the chromatin is only composed of the two type of chromatins, that is euchromatin and heterochromatin. So we are known to the euchromatin, that is a loose form of DNA containing less DNA and having 30 to 80 degree angstrom unit fibrils in the chromatin region, but heterochromatin region is a more compact, condensed, or intercoiled, and having thick fibrils of about 250 degree angstrom unit and containing more DNA. But DNA in heterochromatin is inactive. DNA in a heterochromatin is inert or inactive, and thus not get involved in the process of transcription and translation. And euchromatin is representing true DNA or active DNA due to its thin fibrils or loose form. It will easily get involved in the process of transcription and translation. So, we are having active DNA, or it is genetically active. So, this is about the chromatin, euchromatin and heterochromatin of the chromosomes, or the present in the nucleus in the form of chromosomes. So, chromatin material is in the form of chromosomes, actual diploid set of the chromosomes in the nucleus containing definite number of chromosomes in a set of the chromosomes of the species. Then this is the diagram showing a chromosome, structure of chromosome showing euchromatin and heterochromatin. The chromosomal end or the extremities are called as a telomere. Then there are intercalary heterochromatids, which are the small amount of compact DNA, which is also present at the end of the chromosome or in the extremity or the end of the chromosomes near the telomere. Then follows a loose coiling of the DNA or a loose coiling of the chromatin material called as intercalary heterochromatin. Then again follows a secondary constriction. Secondary constriction, that is a second or another centromere which may present in the chromosome so as to keep two chromatids together. Then follows the again a loose form of DNA called as euchromatin. Then below which there is again a compact DNA, and in between the compact DNA there is a primary constriction first. Primary constriction first means a centromere. So centromere is present in the region between the compact chromatin material called as primary constriction first. Then below there is again another narrow strand like component representing secondary constriction first, that is the region of nucleolar organizer or nucleolar zone or nucleolar organizer, and this is present at the one of the end of the chromosome, and it usually occurs near the nucleolus. Then lastly, there is a constitutive heterochromatin, that is inactive DNA. So this black colored coilings in the structure of euchromatin or in the structure of chromosome representing euchromatin and heterochromatin. Simply we can say that the dark coiling regions represents the heterochromatin part, and the loose coiling representing the euchromatin part of the chromosome. So this is what about the euchromatin and the heterochromatin present in the chromosomes, in typical chromosomes. So this is what the structure of typical chromosome representing euchromatin and heterochromatin material in the chromosomes, and also the different parts of the chromosomes so as to suit the maintenance of the structure of the chromosome, um, that is telomere, pellicle and matrix are rejected in the electron microscopic studies, and the, the two chromatids of the chromosomes representing the paired chromonemata. These may be 2, 4 or more chromonemal fibrils in the chromonemata, and there are such a 2 chromonemata present in each of the chromosome, and which are communicated together by means of uh, uh, primary constriction first or a centromere. Or if the length of the chromatid is much long, then there may be another centromere present along the length of the chromosome, and can be called as secondary constriction. And secondary constriction second is a nucleolar region or nucleolar organizer which is present at another end or one end of the chromosomes, and in the vicinity of the nucleolar organizer there is a nucleolus, and also possessing uh, the large quantity of heterochromatin possessing compact or dense DNA. Then lastly, the functions of the nucleus. Functions of the nucleus. The nucleus acts as a control center of the cell. The nucleus acts as a control center of the cell and controls the all life processes of the cell or ultimately the organism. It serves the following functions. It serves or performs the following functions. Nucleus performs the following functions, such as 1. It maintains the cell structure. Nucleus maintains the cell structure by directing synthesis of structural proteins. So whatever the structural components, such as plasma membrane, nuclear membrane, cytoskeletal elements or the microfibrils, even uh, endoplasmic reticulum, smooth or rough, then Golgi bodies, then mitochondria. So these are the important components which are usually composed of the protein materials, and these are the structural proteins, since they forms the important component of the various structures present in the cell from outside plasma membrane. Then in the cytoplasm there are cytoplasmic organelles, membranes of the cytoplasmic organelles, then nuclear membrane, all of which are containing mainly the proteins, and these are the structural proteins. So the nucleus maintains the cell structure by directing the synthesis of the structural proteins. Then second function, it regulates the cell metabolism. So whatever the biochemical reactions or the biological reactions taking place in the cytoplasm of the cells or in the nucleus of the cells that are under the influence of the genes or DNA material or the chromosomes of the nucleus, and thus the nucleus regulates the cell metabolism. So, whatever the catabolism or the anabolism, that is formative or disintegrative reactions taking place in the cell, cytoplasm or the nucleus, that are carried out under the direction of the nucleus by directing the synthesis of enzymatic proteins. So, all type of metabolic reactions, may be anabolism or catabolism, requires enzymes. So, all enzyme catalyzed reactions requires enzymes as a catalyst to complete the different reactions, or there may be thousands of biochemical reactions taking place in the cell, and which are taking place under the influence of enzyme. So, the nucleus regulates the cell metabolism by directing the synthesis of enzymatic proteins. Then it guides cell differentiation during the development. Nucleus guides cell differentiation during the development. So, during the process of reproduction, during embryonic development, or just in a progression or progress of the embryonic development, there are processes taking place in the embryo such as the determination and the differentiation. So, during gastrulation there is a determination to form fat map or the presumptive areas so as to differentiate or develop into the different structures or different type of tissues and organs or different body organs by the process of differentiation. So, the nucleus guides cell differentiation during the development. It also brings about cell replication, multiplication or cell division whenever needed. So, the nucleus also controls the process of DNA duplication or cell multiplication by the process of cell division such as mitosis and meiosis. So, mitosis type of cell division taking place under the direction of the nucleus or the chromosomes or the genes in the nucleus during the process of cell division or during the growth or repair. So, different type of activities which are happening in the cell or in the organism so as to undergo the growth or the repair, and during which there is a process of cell division or cell multiplication, and that is happening under the direction of the nucleus whenever needed. Then nucleus is the site of ribosomal subunit formation. It is the site of ribosomal subunit formation. So, we are well known to the different subunits, small, large, maybe 5 years, 7 years, 15 years, 25 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, 90 years or 100 years. So, these are the different type of ribosomes, and these are called as ribosomal subunits, which are produced in the nucleolus under the direction of the nucleus or the nuclear DNA. Then another important function of the nucleus, that is it controls the heredity. It controls the heredity, that is similarities or the resemblance of the offsprings with their parents, that is transmission of the characters from one generation to the next generation, called as heredity, and this is occurring under the influence of nucleus or the chromosomes present in the nucleus. That is, two set of the chromosomes or the diploid set of the chromosomes of the species is solely responsible for the development of new organism with almost all parental characters or the instincts. Then it develops genetic variations. The nucleus is also nucleus or the DNA material or the genes, may be homozygous or heterozygous gene pairs, which are responsible for the expression of the characters, and this may lead to the genetic variations. So, nucleus develops genetic variations that result into evolution or formation of new species. So, nucleus is also responsible for the nuclear DNA is also responsible for heredity as well as variations or even the mutations due to the different type of gene expressions or the genes present there in the chromosomes, or variations leads to the evolution, or this may leads to the formation of new species or the phylogeny. So this is what about the functions of the nucleus. So with this we'll stop here, and next time we'll continue the new topic. Thank you.